Everybody, the first thing I'm going to do today, I've got this pile of very exciting stuff ready for sheet 3, but the first thing I'm going to do today is mount sheet 2. Now I've been thinking about sheet 2, don't get me wrong, I love it, I absolutely love it, but I'm thinking now, hindsight is a wonderful thing. I'll just get sheet 1 back because I want to make sure they're at a similar height at the top. Hindsight, oh sorry, hindsight's a marvellous thing, isn't it? But what I was thinking, I'll just put this down here. Oh dear. I'm really out of sorts today, I'm a bit, I don't know, I'm overtired I think, I don't know. Anyway, so that needs to come down a bit so they're both the same at the top, only because of consistency when people are flicking through them. Okay, that's the only reason I'm doing that. So that's right height wise, so I can move this one now. My friend hasn't been to do the shadow thing, I haven't been able to pin her down, so right, so now just check that my distances are okay. Oh, but to go back to sheet 2, sorry, it would have been better, I mean I like it, don't get me wrong, but it might have been better to do the whole design and then cut it, mightn't it? I just think it may well have flowed better, but never mind. We live and learn. We live and learn. That's 2.5. Yeah, it's straight there, so that's alright. You do get quite adept at this, at placing it right without too much effort if you do it often enough. Now I know that I brought my pencil, it's here, so again, just little marks there, just as a guide. So, and then the first thing I want to do, I'm going to do the top and bottom of this one, because this isn't a lift up one like the other one with 3 leaves. I'll just be happier if this is secured with with tape top and bottom. So again, the first thing that's going to go on there is masking tape all the way across the top. Still haven't washed my scissors. Very remiss of me. So masking tape across the top. There's a lot of beads on here, so it's quite difficult. You don't want to press too hard, you don't want to wreck it, you know. Yeah, I'm a bit tired today, I don't know why. You just have them days sometimes, don't you, when there's no explanation, no rhyme or reason. And now I'm a double-sided on top of the masking tape. Oops. So it's going to go into next week, I can't avoid that, so I'm hoping that won't be a problem for any of you. I don't mind, it's my fault. I talk too much and I flit about too much, possibly. That's possibly the reason. So double-sided top and bottom. Now it is quite hard to get this pressed down, really hard, but hopefully I can do that from the front when I get it on the sheet of mount board. So take the peeling off the back. No, maybe not. Okay, so that's that one, and the bottom one. Hey, come on, come on. Oh dear, right. And then again, I'm not going to press or anything yet until I get it on these marks, because I don't want it to stick before I'm ready. And turn it around so I can see those marks. That one's alright, just this one needs to come up a bit there. That's it. So from the front, where I know there aren't any beads or stitching, I can press that down quite hard. Stick that down and do the same at the bottom there. So that's sheet, oh no, Was that right? Yeah, that's right, sorry. That's sheet 2 mounted. So there, so that's 1 and 2 finished. 3 is quite involved. Well, I suppose 1 was very involved as well, wasn't it? So that's sheet 1 and sheet 2. Wonderful, absolutely over the moon with them. Totally delighted with them. So that's a good thing now done. So they're safe now. They're not going to come to any harm on there. And when I've took pictures of them, I'm going to put them in my folio upstairs, zipped up in my folio to keep them safe. Right, now sheet 3, I might need to move about a bit. I'm going to need this at some point to cut a piece of paper. I think what I'll do is I'll turn off, get myself sorted out with the chair, pull my chair up and everything, get myself sorted out for sheet 3. In terms of moving the camera, etc. This is just, I'm just putting rubbish in a bag here. And then I'll turn back on again and start on sheet 3. Alright, I won't be a sec. I think I'm okay now. Now there's my loop strip finished, and somewhere here I've got my hexagons joined together. I'm not going to use these yet, but I've joined them together in a strip for now. Now, tempting as it might be, I don't think that you should. Where's my... Right. This is my first section, and I finished the loops, the bullion loops, and I've done the pin pricking down here, and I've added French knots randomly within there, so I'll pull in, okay. Now, tempting as it might be, don't add your stitching yet, okay. And the reason for that is because you add that to there, but don't forget you also need to attach it to your next sheet down, so it's much easier to do it all in one go. And you can't attach to your next sheet down yet until you've worked on it. So don't be tempted. I mean, I can't tell you not to do it, you know, you're going to do what you're going to do, but I'm not doing it until I've finished working on this. Now this is quite long, I need it shorter, so the first thing I need to do is decide what I'm going to do on here. I've already got an idea of that, but I won't talk about that yet because I want to do something else on here first. Now that sheet I've just moved out of the way, it's going to be the second section of this. I'm going to put a little bit of fabric together to work with there. So I've got a bit of broderie anglaise and I've got some lace. Now this is new, well it's vintage lace that I bought recently in London, but it's very similar to a lace I've had before, and I found it very easy to, perhaps not this one, but the one I had before, to mimic the pattern that was going on in the lace and create that with pinprick, and it was really effective. So I need my pencil, which I know I've got because I've just had it, which is here. So, and I'm going to do it on the back of here, and on the back I've got a guide to where all my stitches are, haven't I, because the knots are there at the back. So what I did, and the pattern that I picked out of there, out of that lace, it was kind of 5 dots, okay, and then little arcs like that, little tiny arcs, partial circles, and that to me mimicked the lace, and the lace is very similar to that lace, so I think that's going to marry with that. So on here now I am going to really bombard this piece with pinpricks in that lace pattern pre-drawn on the back. So I'll pinprick through there so they go to the front, and I'm going to do it as if there's one again partially coming off the edge, so it's only a partial motif. Now this is going to take a lot of doing because it's going to take a lot of sketching out and then a lot of pinpricking, so be prepared for this to be time consuming. Okay, this is only a very small piece of paper, but there's a lot of work to be done on here. So if I just leave it at that for now with my marks on the back, and if I pinprick one of those to show you the effect I'm going to get from that, and then I'll do the rest off camera this evening. I'm just looking for a needle that's suitable. This one, I need a sturdy one really. Right, so if I start with this one, so I'll do my 5 centre ones without going through my finger. 4, 5, okay. And then I'll just prick dots in the lines that I've drawn on the back. Some of them are only big enough to have 3 dots, some of them will take 4 dots. But trust me, and I'm saying this because I need to trust myself, that this is going to be effective on the front, but it's never not been effective before. There's no reason why it's not going to work. It's almost like a little rose pattern going on. The only reason it might not, it's too late now anyway, maybe my needle's a bit thick, but we'll know when we turn it over. Right, I'm going to look first on my own. No, there. So look, it's almost like a little rose in the paper. Okay, so I'm going to do that completely on the back of this until this whole piece has got this surface on it. So try and, what I'm saying is, try and look at your lace patterns if you're using lace, or if you've got some nice lace that you can integrate in this, and try and represent them with pin pricking. Okay, try and see if you can simplify the shapes within that lace to give yourself a simple pattern that you can pin prick. And there's the second one. So the whole of this surface is going to be like that, apart from obviously where these are. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with that going forward, and you will see that I will do that tonight, and you'll see that when you get these videos tomorrow, because it's Saturday today, you're going to get these on Sunday, so you will have that whole piece finished tomorrow. Okay, so now what I want to do, I've cut my next piece of paper. I'm going to put my bullion loop piece away because I don't want to put that in yet. It's the same width as this one, okay, but it's the length I need to determine, and I want to put a zip in this piece, so let me just pull out a bit. Right, so that is going to be over there with the bullion loops coming down, and I want an open area in here that's got a zip that's open like that. I want to stitch that zip into here. I will get those back so that I get a better idea of placement. So you have to get your zip. I mean, I could use a smaller zip. You know, you can use any size zip that you want. So there. So I kind of think I want it that way, but I haven't really. And then part of me thought I could open it completely and have it like that, but I do need to decide this before I put my fabric bits together. So I wonder, might be nice coming that way actually. Actually, I like that. I hadn't thought about that. Right. Yeah. So now what I need to do is get my pencil, just check I'm leaving myself enough. I'm not, so I need to be certain, take that out because it doesn't, I need to be certain that I'm leaving myself enough paper at the top to join these two together. Okay, so that and that. Okay, and then what I need to do is just roughly draw within the confines of that zip there. Okay, take the zip away, and then actually no, I'm going to leave it there for a minute because I still need to, I don't have to decide now, but I want to have an idea now of how long I want this piece to be. And remember I said at the very beginning that the third piece might be a different length to the other pieces, and this is where that's going to come into play. But having said that, I had an idea in my head of how this piece was going to look. Okay, I'd already kind of half decided, but already I've changed my mind on the placement of the zip, and I may change my mind again. So what I'm going to do, that's definitely staying there, that's going to be there. I was going to just have a progression coming vertically, but now I'm wondering if maybe a corner of this might come off and these might go around it. Okay, so I haven't decided yet. Initially I was going to use 3 zips on this, but now it might only be 2. It might only be 1. Probably going to be 2, but we'll see. So I'm not going to cut this down yet, that's what I'm saying. That's my roundabout way of telling you I'm not going to cut this down or shorten it yet, because I'm not 100% convinced or sure what I'm going to do with it from this point in when I've done this bit. So if I put that away, take that out there. Now what I need to do is cut that out with my Stanley knife. Okay. So for the sake of support, and don't forget it has to go under here, okay, I'm not going to cut the top bit out, I'm going to do it like this, and I'm just going to do it freehand. Okay, take that out, and then that is the size I need my lace piece now, with a seam allowance, so I can put this paper to one side, pull my chair back. So now I need to put together some kind of strip thing going on, I think, with this white that I've got here, okay, and it needs to be bigger than that by about 1 inch all the way around, so that I can attach it to the paper with the zip. So I've got my pins, and I think I am just going to do strips. Alright, so I'm not going to use this nice edge, I'm going to keep this nice edge for a frill on something else. I know I always cut edges off to keep tucking under seams on other things, okay. So if I cut there, now actually this has got a seam in it because it was part of a sleeve, I think, and I don't really want a seam. So if I stop at the seam, it's still going to be wide enough. Okay, I'll double check that now, but I'm sure it will be wide enough. So if I start with that, yeah, there's plenty on each side, and this only gets smaller, doesn't it? So that's fine. So, and then I'll get some of the lace, a strip of the lace. The edge is very raggy on this because I put it through the washing machine when I got it home because it was really, really grubby. I bought it in a vintage shop. So I'll just cut them raggy bits off and put them over there. I don't want my strips all the same width, so I'll make this one a bit wider. Now that's too wide, so I'm going to trim that, and that won't get wasted either, that will come in for something. So, and the beauty of the lace is you don't have to turn the edge over, it'll just sit on top of there like that. Now I want another thin piece of this, not as wide as the other one. So that can go under so that we're not worrying about it fraying. And then I'm just going to adorn the seams of this. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of surface embroidery on here, but I think I will be doing loops on every seam to keep the theme of the loops going, with that edge I've done that's all loops. So just pin these together, and hopefully this will be done tomorrow as well. Fingers crossed. Okay, so now I want another piece of lace, a thin piece, I think. Or thinner. That can go on there and be pinned. I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. There. Just check with my template. Still got some way to go. I need a bit more of that broderie on glaze, don't I? Because it's not very, it's not getting shown to its potential. So I've cut quite a wide bit of that now. And put that under there and pin that. And it's as simple as that really, making a fabric insert for this page. And whatever you put on your fabric insert, whatever fabric you use will dictate the patterning that happens on the sheet. Hence me using this lace and that pattern up above, and hence me continuing with the loops, like loop central. And I still need something else down here, so we just want a very small thing of lace, don't we, down there. Just let me fold this up. Keep it tidy, Karen, keep everything tidy. So we want a thin piece of lace now for down here. So every seam is going to have bullion loops, okay? But what I need to do, and it's very important, and I'll tell you that in a second, pin this on. Wrong way. I want them showing, so I might run the risk of having that raw and have that on there like that, because I want those eyelets to show. So, and don't forget, this isn't going to get worn or used, it's going to be a design sheet. I mean, it could even go in a frame, you know. Right, so now what I need to do, I think that's okay, is I need to mark it with pencil. Just do it on the back really, shouldn't I? Turn it over. So that, and then I will tack around here, or baste around here. So I'll tell you why. Or you probably know why anyway, but I'll tell you in a sec. It's very hard to mark the lace, to be honest. What I might do actually is pin this on here and stitch around this, because it's very difficult to mark on the lace. If I pin that to there and then tack around it, so tack around the edge of that shape, and the reason for that is so that when I come to do this side, I'll know there's no loops will extend from there to there. There's no point doing up here and up here. So my area for loops is getting narrower and narrower. And I mean, there might be a little bit of wastage going on here, but for example, when I cut this out, if I cut it like that, then these pieces will be retrieved and put in my snippet jar, because I have a jar of things like that I use to make lace cloth with, so they're not going to be wasted. So I'm going to go away now, tack around there again this evening, and do all these seams with bullion loops, which is not a lot if you think about it. This one down here is tiny, it's probably just 2 loops. This one, 9, something like that. This one 12, that one 14. Up here is the biggest one. It's not going to take me that long, okay? So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to finish that other piece of paper, and then I'm going to come back and work the zip into the piece, okay? Get the zip into the piece before I attach this second piece to the first piece with the bullion loop between them, bullion loop row between them. Okay, I hope that's clear enough. The good thing is though, I'm making this on Saturday, you're getting on Sunday, but I'll also be making the next video so you get it the same day as this one. So if there is any confusion, it'll be remedied in the next video, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. Okay.